Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. And market's kind of ripping again today, even though it's down at the moment. It's been up for a lot of the day. Yesterday, it was ripping like crazy too. So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into it. First, I'm going to moisten my eyeballs. Ah, whew. Ah, because my eyes feel dry in the morning, man. All right, let's dive on in. So you can see we were ripping all the way up here this morning in the pre-market, and we've kind of been falling down since. But um, the question is, where is this bottom going to be at? I think that the bottom might be pretty soon because if you look at the TTM, it's kind of, I think we've kind of already hit the lowest momentum drops, and we're bouncing off the lower band of the VWAP now. And we may continue downward for a little while because here I am on the 3-minute chart here, and we got this $5,200 or 5,200 cross on the moving averages. Right now we're popping up to 4150 though, and we got a yellow on the 3-minute chart. So I don't know how long this is gonna last. So we're pulling down to like 4150 zone. I don't really know what the movement and momentum's like on the day. So we'll take a little. I'm gonna take a little feeler trade here. I'm joining the bid though because, which I think might put me in a little high, but it is kind of ripping right now. I'll try to join the bid again. All right, we're in pretty high at 52 and a quarter. I was trying to get in closer to 50, but it's kind of just already moving, so. And then even there, our pullback was only to really fit like 52. TTM1 going from 5.6 to 4.2, and then new candle coming in at 3.2. It's looking pretty decent for some momentum stack here. Also looks like the 9 is approaching a crossover of the 12 EMA. What that really does is gives us that confirmation of that upward move. That's if that 9 gets above that 12, which I think it's going to. I mean, this is fighting pretty strong support off 52 here. The last few candles have been mostly buys, so we may get a few profit takers on this one, but I'm gonna put this right here because I might get another opportunity to enter in the trade. Just allowed me to take a little micro profit while reducing my my entry by about 2 ticks, or 1 tick rather. Today so far is looking like a pretty good day for scalping. We have this little flag that we see right here on the 1 minute chart. And we're getting above the EMA 35. This is a really good zone for the flag to be in. Now, sometimes this can reject, but we do have this flag here. We've got the cyan switch on the way. The 9's getting above the 12. So we have pretty decent amount of confirmation that this flag is going to be an upward move. And that doesn't mean that everything is 100%, but given the positioning of this flag, the positioning of these moving averages, as well as the TTM, you can see it actually ripped on past our order there. I'm gonna mark it out. Just made the sound like we just sold. So am I still in a trade or what? What's going on here? Okay, there we go. All right, so we have this pullback now. This looks like another entry point. Let's see if it actually fills. Okay, we get an entry again off 52, which is actually a really great entry. We got the cyan switch right here. It is pretty heavy pullback, and that's why I said sometimes these can pull back. So hopefully, and now we'll keep a pretty close eye on it here. But hopefully we bounce off this 9 moving average. Did get a cyan switch there. Just gonna check something here real fast. Make sure that this is actually streaming. Okay. Yeah, good. Sometimes it doesn't actually go live like it's supposed to. TTM going from 0.1 to 0.7 up to 1.4. Currently, we're down about 187.50 or so in this trade. All right, I'm going to take a look at the longer time frame to see whether or not we should cut this trade. It looks like we should keep it. We've got on the TTM3, we've got some buildup here going from 2.5 to 1.9 to 1.8 on the TTM. It's not a lot of really great buildup, and you can see actually that one opened red. So I think that we are going to cut this. To 2.3. You can see that we've had a market order on this for a while. It's continuing to drop, which is unfortunate because I've had a market order on this for quite a few ticks now. Okay, it finally happened. That puts us down 187.50 on the day. Taking a loss of about 500 or so on that. I think it was like 412.50. It's okay, as we still have another opportunity. I do think this is going to bounce, though. We might pull back to around like 45. I don't really want to see a pullback all the way to the bottom of the VWAP, which is exactly what it just did. But if it is happening here, then we may get a bounce off of that. There's a lot of volume for this, and you see that it's very much a lot of short volume. We're on this minute here, we're almost at 12,000 contracts. This other one right here was only 10,000 contracts. So this is coming in even heavier at 15,000 now. That is a ton of volume. It's one of the highest volume candles of the day. Might even be the highest volume candle of the day. 15,752. The only candle bigger than that was at 7 o'clock, and that was in the upward direction at 16,000. This one came in very close at almost 16,000, 15,750. So major drop just now. In terms of the actual amount of contracts headed down that way. So now we're looking at potentially another, like a double bottom bounce. Both these hit the bottom of the view up here. I wouldn't take this long yet though. Let's see. Might go for a bit of a swing. Yeah, 15 seems about right, or 20 seems about right. Swing the bid here. This is a bit of a riskier trade. So the idea is that we're at a double bottom. The idea is that this may fluctuate around a little bit here. Our entry is at 44.75. So we're going to have to break through that 45 resistance level, which I'll mark out here. There's 45. But the idea here is that we're taking a double bounce off this the bottom end of the VWAP here. And we're going to look for a move all the way up towards 50. So that's kind of the concept behind this trade. What's up, Tiny? Great to see you here. Much love and appreciation, y'all. So we're getting that double bottom down there. And normally I wouldn't really take this type of trade, but this is a little bit of an experiment. If we lose, it's not a big deal. This is a simulator. It's designed to take experiments. Pulling back to 43. So the idea behind this, I pulled this out here, is this section here. So this section bounced off of about 44. Right now we're pulling back to 42.5. On the 1 minute chart, you can see the TTM is grinding downward. We are long in this, but that is the part of the concept, is that we hit bottom here, we're coming down, hitting another bottom, and bouncing off of that. What is the low of the day anyway? Sometimes this thing isn't always great at telling me the low of the day. But right now, it looks like that's the low of the day. Okay, so we are green in this trade now. And here we are on the 3-minute chart. I'd like to see another 3-minute yellow candle here to help confirm this move. There's a lot of things that are working bearish on the 3-minute side. Like, for example, this 5200 crossover, 35 being below the 50, and really all the moving averages being stacked exactly in the direction that they are. The 9 is on the low end, the 12 is the first crossover to happen that we would need to happen to confirm that upward move when it happens, followed by the 1226 crossover, followed by the 35 crossing above the 50 and the 50 above the 200. So basically, all the moving averages need to flip in the opposite direction of that they're at right now. Pulling back pretty heavily off of that 45 resistance. Hey, I'm glad that you're digging the inspirational quotes. I've just been, I don't know, trying to make this whole place a better place over and over. That's funny. Your thinker's was moving slow. Mine's moving faster than it normally was. Although you guys did see that one trade that it wouldn't let me out of for like ever. But that's kind of, I've almost come to expect that now, which is terrible. All right. So we're approaching the top of the hour now. We're in the last 15 minutes. Which reminds me, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. 15 minutes chart is still on the decline. And we're just riding the bottom of this VWAP here. 8.2 to 10.0. Checking the 5. So it looks like it's genuinely continuing to grind down. Bottom of the VWAP is down there around 42.5. So I don't know if you guys knew, but you can actually mark the charts on like your TTM down here. If you're using Thinkorswim, you can actually mark these things. So you can make markings inside of your volume chart or inside of these other charts. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it's a cool little way for, like, for example, I put like a support level, if you will, on the TTM. And one of the things that I've noticed about the TTM is that things will kind of come in waves. So like you'll see this smaller one turn into a bigger one, which will turn into an even bigger one, which eventually turns back into a smaller TTM wave, and then to a smaller TTM wave, and then a trend reversal. And so it's kind of useful for that you can kind of measure these out in that way. And you can see that they follow a pretty consistent pattern of breakout. So like if we look at from like here to here, you can see that, I'm gonna get zoomed in on this little patch right here. Okay, so this is the patch that's trend reversing to the bullish side. You can see it was smaller, then went slightly larger, then smaller again, and then almost non-existent. And that entire time, from this one that was from the bigger to the smaller, became the trend reversal, and continued on until it broke all the way out of the upper band of the VWAP and rejected, and then became a larger wave and rode almost an equilibrium of momentum toward the upside. So then you can see that small wave followed by a smaller up wave, then a tiny down wave. So it kind of, you can see like here where the waves start getting a little bit larger, but we still haven't fallen down yet. And then the waves get really big and it starts to fall. And so I've been able to just kind of like view some of these patterns that begin to form like this. It's not a perfect science, though, I'll tell you that. Okay, so it looks like we could have got an entry a bit lower on this particular trade, but it does look like the idea, the concept behind it is kind of working out. I wish that I had taken profit here, and I think that in the future, the methodology behind it would be to take profit on the first bounce, and especially if the TTM is still continuing to stack. And so that would have given me the opportunity to get out here and then take another trade off the low. Yeah, there's not a lot of trading stuff I've seen that has freestyle drawing, which is kind of annoying, honestly. But also, I guess, like, I don't know. I like having the tools that give me an exact horizontal, but also it could be useful just to like draw a little arrow here, or like just make a little circle, something like that, without having to grab the circle shape, you know? I think that'd be useful. This EMA 50 pulled all the way back to 48. That's pretty heavy pullback on that. I think I might cut this and then try again. Just to lower my cost basis. Oops. No, I should not let me back in. Oh, come on. In at 43.50. I think we were in at 44.75. This is only like 5 ticks down. Possible 1226 crossover on a potential cyan switch there. Got resistance at like 46 area. We have an entry at 43.50. And our intended exit is up here at 48. So going for kind of a larger swing. Currently, we're up about 12 ticks area. I'm going to take this profit, and then I'm going to look for a pullback and try and enter again. So I'm going to look for an entry off around 44 area. Join the bid here. Entered again at 43.50, which was our original entry. I think was 43.50. $5.0 to 4.1 to 3.7. Going to reduce this down to 46 as the exit. We don't have confirmation of the 912 yet, so there's still some potentiality that this trade could pull back even again, because we still don't have that 912 confirmation. We are also coming up on the top of the hour, so we may get a volume spike in this area. 54.57. So this is our new TTM3 candle, which is actually continued decline. Where's the number I'm looking for? My eyes were totally going to the wrong spot to find the TTM momentum numbers. Pretty much just gave back all of that profit that we gave back even more. So heavy rejection on that. Did one nice trade followed by one bad trade. Very heavy rejection there. I'm going to cut that. That's unfortunate because we did have a very nice trade right here through this zone. But we got a lot of shares, a lot of volume spike right there to the downside. The bears are out. So at this particular point, I think that, well, this momentum actually got even like more so to the downside. We had a bit more momentum even pick up on that. 30 seconds left in the top of the hour. Till the top of the hour, I should say. Pulling all the way back to 40, and we were in 39 there for a second. We'll see if we bounce off 40. Oops, a little closer than we wanted. 9.2 to 9.6 on the TTM3. So I have a little bit more understanding of the range on the day. Enjoying the bid here, long off 39, and I'm going to look for a bounce up to 42, and then another push down. So I've kind of figured that the range on the day is roughly about $3 when it comes to the little momentum reversals. 9.2 to 9.8 GTM3. It's kind of crazy to see this thing continuing to drop, honestly. I mean, we've retraced about $40 or so, going from 71 down to 38. I think that's closer to $30, like 33. But we have retraced quite a lot of the gains of movement on the day. In the top of the hour, are we going to get a push back up? Right now, we've been stair-stepping down for the last half hour or so. TTM on the 1 minute going from 3.2 to 3.5. Movement at about a half a point to the downside. I'm sure you didn't chase them away, Tiny. A lot of people are on spring break right now, Tiny. In fact, I was considering taking spring break this week, especially with the market closing Good Friday, going into Easter, and I just forgot to announce it last week, and because I was still undecided, and so I decided to show up anyway. So I think that's really what's kind of going on, why the attendance numbers are a little low today and yesterday. Really just because I think a lot of people are on spring break. Moving from 3.2 to 3.5 to 3.7 on the TTM 1 minute. So we're kind of leveling off there. It does look like we're getting close to another opportunity for a momentum push, which would look like probably something like this, but may end up as a full trend reversal. It's getting closer. It can only do this decline so many times before it winds up enough to just rip to the upside. So back above 39. The low there was at like 37. And I don't know when we marked this in here, but at some point we had marked this support line in here right at that zone that it bounced. And it pulled back to 35 and bounced off 35 area. So 36 really would have been the best entry because 36, I mean, that would have been your 12 tick move that I mentioned that most things have the range on in the day. That would have been your 12 tick right there from 36 to 39. So I've been thinking a lot about the next evaluation and how I intend to approach that. And I'll actually log in and show you guys my numbers from my last evaluation. Give me a moment here. By the way, we're currently up in that trade. I'll get my charts back up in a minute. Apparently, I need to update Trade of 8. Excuse me. Apologies for the delay. Trade of 8 needed to be updated. Okay. First, let's check in on that trade. So we had a pullback down to 37. Currently down 262 in that trade. We're below the bottom band of the VWAP. Three minutes still on the downtrend. Putting a flash of yellow there on the 3-minute chart. And jumping to the 5-minute, which is a ways off from that. A 3 minutes really going to be one of the biggest indicators of the momentum shift. Okay, so what I wanted to bring up was our chart from our evaluation last month. So this is, what evaluation is that? I think this is the one that, yeah, this is our 50K. Okay, so this was our results here. We had about 60% accuracy, 60% win rate, and a 40% loss rate. Now, one of the things that I'm just gonna cut this. One of the things that that I noticed is that, so we have a decent win ratio. I think that we could do better. I think I can get closer to like 75% or even potentially 80%. But I definitely saw that I feel that I overtraded. Took a total of 115 trades over the course of that month. That's kind of a lot, of which 68 were winning trades and 46 were losing trades. Now, those numbers, you would think that if I'd kept a 1-to-1 ratio, I would have been profitable, because it would have been a 60-40 win rate, right? So I think that the biggest thing that I need is risk management, by far. And I think that we need to be putting a cap on our losses if our accuracy can be 60%. Now, one of the things that this doesn't consider or factor into is how many of these wins were wins where the drawdown went pretty far down before coming back up and winning. So that's not something that this is able to track. And our loss ratio may actually be higher if we're using stops. So we have to figure out a way to approach this with a 1-to-1 win ratio where we're not just getting stopped out before it pops up and works out. So that's something that I have been kind of thinking about how to approach that. But moreover, to me, this is telling that I need to work on not just risk management, but maintaining at least a 1-to-1 profit ratio. And maybe it needs to be like a 1.5 to 2 profit ratio or something like that. But whatever it is, it's the profit ratio is what we need to be working on. And then also maintaining pretty hard rules around risk in regards to our trade plan. So those are just some ideas that I had going over the numbers from last month. Getting another rip downward. We've been kind of waiting for the trend reversal all day, and it really hasn't been happening, honestly. It just hasn't. It's just been on this downtrend all day, and every time it looks like it's about to break, we get a big rejection. And that's kind of been the name of the game all day. Now, the part that makes me weary about just going short is the fact that we're below this lower band of the VWAP. Rarely do these hold outside these bands. We had an example earlier today where it was above the bands. 3 examples, actually. So you can see this one was above the band, and it maintained above the band for about 10 minutes and then pulled back under. And then again attempted to break it, and it resisted. A couple of times it broke through it. It eventually pulled back under it. And so that's why I look to take bounces off these zones. You can see we bounce on this 1, 2, 3, and right now we're on the 4th time. Over here we had 1 breakthrough, 2, 3. Well, this whole thing was. So I guess that's 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So the question is, how long will this continue to be below the lower band of the VWAP? Because it can only do that for so long before it rips back up. Join the bid here for this red to yellow move. We're in at 34. We're looking to get out of 37. I also noticed that the 200 SMA is actually on the downward slope. One second. All right, we'll be back. Yeah, it is a challenge. I mean, like if you're pulling at 60-40, it's like you're like, dude, my accuracy says I should be profitable. Even if you're pulling in like 70-30 and you're still losing, you're just like, okay, well, wait a second. What's going on in regards to my risk management?